Ladies, it's no secret we talk a lot. And I mean a lot.
You actually talk
we, on average, speak 20,000 words a day, compared to only 7,000 from a male.
Because when males talk,
Did you ever stop to think about why it is exactly we talk so much? Because we really talk a lot, don't you think? If you compare the female to the male brain, the centers dedicated to speech and language, there are large active areas in both the left and right side of all female brains. This means that we learn languages easier and faster, and we are generally better at all spelling, punctuation, and grammar.
And the male brain, we've talked about this before, is actually very, very good at compartmentalizing and visualizing. So guys can often internally problem solve and figure things out, whereas women are much better and more effective when they actually spill it all out, put it out in the open, and start to piece things together once they've been verbalized.
You see, this dates back to our ancestry, when men would go off all day and sit alone in the woods just trying to hunt the buffalo for dinner, while the women were back at the village with all those other women and children. We needed to talk to develop these relationships for safety and for community. Women would use it as sort of a stress relief. We also see this talking as a way to feel supported and bonded. It's been going on since the beginning of time.
And that's weird because guys just continue to suck at just listening to it. I gotta say, I've made a couple of changes in the last 5-10 years as a boyfriend or as a lover. The biggest change that I've made in those last 5 to 10 years was just not talking when my girlfriend was talking. I'd always want to be like, oh, so your boss said this? Okay, well, why don't you send them an email and tell them, or, oh, your friend did that? Well, why don't you just suggest it? And it's like, they didn't want to hear it. They just wanted to vent. And once I realized that I didn't always have to be solving problems, I could just listen because women needed to just talk more things out, it made my life 1,000,000 times easier.
This is true. When women just talk, we're just venting out all the scramble in our brain. But men hear it as problems, and their brains are designed to give us solutions to those problems. So then the men try to solve our problems, and we are like, you are not listening.
And you become the problem.
Men, this is why women need their girlfriends. I personally need to have my Friday night girl day with my best friend because we need a steak and a bottle of wine so we can literally vent out every little thing that has happened to us in the last 7 days. We need it. We need venting girl time.
Whereas, yeah, you look at dudes and what do? They grab a beer, sit next to their friend, watch the game, maybe they burp, maybe they ask them a question about how stuff's going with work, but for the most part, casual banter, minimal talking. So guys, when a woman's speaking, and they tend to be speaking a lot, which they do, realize that it's not always a request for your input. Sometimes they just need to put it out so they can pull it back in. But girls, maybe just preface some of these rants and monologues with a little warning, like, hey, this is the part where you don't talk and you just listen.
Men, instead of offering solutions to all of our problems, it's better to sometimes just tune out, because women just really need something to vent against. That's the same thing that goes for girlfriends. I mean, when I sit down with my girlfriends and she starts telling me all of her problems, I have to say, are these my listening ears or are these my advice ears? Because sometimes even female to female, girls just want girls to listen. They don't want you to offer any advice. Do you know what I mean?
What?
I'm learning.
And you become the problem. One of the biggest changes, if not the biggest change that I've made, was just shutting the up when, sorry, I can't say that.
Oh yeah, I can't say I'm learning. Suck that dick.
That's how we should end all of it.